Hey everyone, welcome to Press Start. My name is Darce, and I'm here to talk a little bit about my basically grief over the news that New World will not be getting any new content going forward, in a nutshell. So yesterday, Amazon had a huge mass layoff, and that accounted for, as of yesterday, I think it was around 14,000 jobs lost. And there was also a significant amount of jobs lost and reduction in the Amazon Games Studio portfolio. Part of that layoffs and consolidation was them also basically removing their desire and future plans into the MMO space, which includes the game New World Aeternum. For those that don't know, New World Aeternum released back in 2021 from basically Amazon Games Studio Irvine, which originally was called Double Helix Games. And it's had a up and down lifespan, if I will put it bluntly. The game released and had amazing player base to start. I think it hit like 923,000 players at its peak, according to, I believe it was Steam DB that I saw that on. And then of course, content issues, server issues, things like that really just diminished the people's drive to play that game. And so it really went down. And I originally started playing it back when it first released. I had a good time, but wasn't super enamored by it. And I think I also at that time just was not really enamored by MMOs anymore. So I kind of fell off. And then about this time last year, I returned to the game to try it out and see if something was different, if I liked it more than I did at the beginning. And I'll easily say, yes, I did. I ended up actually really enjoying it. I did several streams on it, had such a fun time returning to the world and the game and its overall gameplay. And then I fell off of it again because of life and job and things like that. And then about mid-September, I returned to it once again. And when I returned to it again, I became even more enamored than I was last year. And I played the heck out of it. And some of you know that I was really just talking it up and having such a great time, talking about it in the Discord, put out a couple of different YouTube shorts on it. And I was really having a great time. And then with the Nighthaven update that released on October 18th, I believe it was, a ton of people got really excited about the game again and really fell in love with it. And New World started to hit its, recent highs of like 40,000 plus concurrent players in the game. And that's just on Steam, Steam. That's not showing what was on console. And people were having such a great time with it. And there was almost a rejuvenated feeling around the game. But then, of course, again, Amazon did all these layoffs. It's basically, at this point, I don't think it's officially been confirmed, but they essentially shut down Amazon Game Studios Irvine as well as San Diego and laid off so many staff members, and then put out the update that Season 10, the Nighthaven update, is the last new content that the game will receive. They do say that they'll keep servers up at least through 2026, but the effect was immediately already felt. By the time the announcement went out yesterday, I had looked and Steam had said that there was about 37,000 people online. It was a little under it, but 37,000. After the announcement came out, which was around 4 o'clock p.m. my time, when I got home from work at 6 o'clock, I looked and the number of players playing had already plummeted to 17,000. It just immediately killed so many people's desires to play the game. if you were in the New World Aeternum Discord, it was chaos. People were just all over the place. People were feeling many emotions and, you know, frustrations and confusion. But of course, these decisions definitely are not made overnight. And even if Nighthaven had this resurgence that was being felt, where you were having to deal with login queues to try to even get in the game because there was just so many people wanting to play this game and the servers just weren't ready to handle it. These decisions were made months ago and now just being felt. And it sucks. It sucks a lot because I will say safely since September, I've put in probably about 50, 60 hours into this game, having a wonderful time, leveling my character up. I'm almost at max level, starting to do a lot of the end game content. And I was one of those that got felt yesterday where I was so wanting to play New World. I wanted to play it, for instance, Monday night, and I didn't get a chance to do it. And so I was excited to go home on Tuesday to go play. And then that news came out, and I was one of the people that very much was like, do I even bother? Even though I kept telling myself, like, yeah, there's still like content that I haven't, you know, felt and seen, and I still feel that way. I still want to do a bunch of the things that I haven't gotten to do yet because I'm not at max level yet and was doing all this catch-up work. But it's that feeling of like, well, there's so many people that have already left the game. I'm already going to struggle to do the content that I want to do because it's older content. How do I actually do that content now, knowing that there's such a large grouping of people gone and not wanting to play the game anymore? And so I didn't play it last night. I ended up playing The First Descendant, which is another game that I'm enjoying if you've been following the channel or my streams. But I definitely kept longing for wanting to play New World. And there's nothing that can be done really about it. I mean, I've seen people post online about that they're canceling their Amazon Prime subscription and they're going to avoid any Amazon games released game in the future, and that, you know, there's just a lot of emotions going on. But New World is a small subsection of the income that Amazon as a company even felt. And the loss of people wanting to pick that up or buying it is not going to amount to really anything. That's partially why they, you know, closed the game down. And even if, let's just hypothetically say, all 50,000, if I include console players, I'm just saying 10,000 at the moment, just to be on a safe side. But like, let's just say 50,000 people canceled their Amazon Prime subscriptions. If they all had it, there is still so many people who do not play this game, who do not touch Amazon games and just use Amazon and Amazon Prime, that yes, it would be a dent, but it would be a small dent. And it sucks. I spent a lot of time yesterday just trying to figure out, well, if I'm not going to play New World, what do I want to play that gives me the same feeling of the game? And I think it's really hard for me to figure that out right now because New World has some uniqueness to it and some mechanics or gameplay that is not necessarily felt completely in all other games. And for myself, it's one of the things that I really don't want to do is I don't want to pay for a monthly subscription, because if I did, which I have considered, I talked about this with my wife, is going back to Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, because I absolutely love that game, had such a great time. But whenever you pay a subscription, at least for me, is I feel like I have to play it enough, and enough is, you know, definitely subjective, to justify the monthly spend that I am doing on that game. And then I don't want to play a number of these free-to-play MMOs because I'm kind of in the mood for an MMO. I mean, and I think that's partially why I went back to New World. Is I don't want to play a number of these free-to-play MMOs because they just become such a grind, more than an MMO typically is. There's usually, okay, well, yes, you can play this for free, but you gotta buy the battle pass in order to be able to really do any kind of end game content, and you gotta, you know, buy these different currencies so that you can get the weapons or the armor or the things that you need to do later stuff. And you know, there's always these different mechanics and time, you know, fillers, and like, oh, you know, for instance, again, with First Descendant, I really like the game, but if I want to get anything in that game, I have to research it, and when I research it, it can range to complete it anywhere from an hour to 14 hours, and like, that's just crazy to me. And I know that some people find it fine and acceptable, and I know, like, for instance, some of my friends who I've talked with have said, you know, oh, it's not as bad as like Warframe, and it's like, to me, I don't play Warframe, so I that's not the justification or the litmus test for me. And so I want, personally, like, I would love a world, it's not going to happen, but I'd love a world where New World gets some rejuvenated blood into it, where Amazon decides, even if it's not, of course, you know, Irvine, but they decide, hey, we're going to have one of our other Amazon game studios make some content for this. Put out some more seasonal content or something. It doesn't have to be huge updates, but just enough to like keep people around and get things going to where maybe another studio or another company is interested in picking up the game and transferring the rights over to it. There's a number of other issues with that. I will preface that with Amazon used their own proprietary engine, so it can't be just easily transferred over like it would be if it was Unreal or something of that nature. But like, that would be an ideal world, but that's not going to happen. But what I'd love is for a company to make something like New World. I'm totally fine and down for paying for the game and then playing it and paying for occasional expansions or seasonal content, stuff like that. You know, there's another game that I was interested in that I still think was fun called Dune Awakening. Some of you know that, some of you don't. But the thing that I don't like about Dune Awakening that I picked up like kind of right away is that I have to do maintenance on my home, my base, or else it will get destroyed by the sand. And I get that that's thematic and stuff, but like, that's annoying. Again, I want the MMO, personally, I want the MMO that doesn't feel like a second or third job. I want it to feel like the fun factor that I want to go in and grind and play, but I can dive in and have fun, and I can get out and wait a month and then come back and still be fine. And I don't know if I'm going to find that right now. So it sucks. I probably will still play some New World on stream because, again, I have a bunch of content that I have not gotten to experience yet, and I hope to get to experience, but don't know yet when that will happen, and if we'll even get to have it happen, because again, we've seen the player base already fall off quite a bit. But yeah, just wanted to make this quick video. I guess it's not quick at this point, but just to share my slight grief over the loss of a game that I was having a ton of fun with. But with that being said, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the video. If you like this video and you like hearing my thoughts about various video games, why don't you hit the subscribe button so you can be notified of future videos. If you also want to support the channel a bit further, you can go into the description and either donate to my Ko-fi account or buy a game from one of the affiliate links down below, like Green Man Gaming or Fanatical.com. Both of those, anytime you buy a game, there's a kickback to the channel. It helps out. But with that said, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into this video. As always, everybody, stay hydrated, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep on gaming. We'll see you guys all on the next video. But until then, enjoy yourselves.